Greetings. This isn't going to be a vlog. This is going to be an accompaniment piece. It's kind of the first of its kind, and I don't know how well this is going to work in the grand scheme of things. It's an experiment. But I'm covering up most of the actual wallpaper behind me. But basically, I decided to do some investigation into a game that I found out. Long story even longer. I saw 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think it was, a video done by Angry Joe, YouTuber Angry Joe, about a game called Dirty Bomb. And he was, of course, getting angry and raging at it for various kind of confusing and slightly misleading aspects of the business model. Now, some of those have actually been ironed out and smoothed out. Some of them are still a little weird. But for the most part, it seems like it's on the up and up. It does not seem like there's anything weird going on. It's a shooter. It's a really good, solid shooter. The actual FPS mechanics for it are good. It's very responsive. The controls are smooth. The controls are simple. That's important. I went in with default controls and just picked up on it right away. It's very easy to use. The HUD is fairly unobtrusive and out of the way, but it still gives you enough information that you need to work with. I do think some of the gun sounds, a lot of people have said this, a lot of the gun sounds, they sound a little similar, a little recycled. I think they could have diversified a little there. But on the audio side, they did do different voice actors for every single merc, like a hero from a MOBA. Every single merc has a different voice actor and a different sound. And I do think that's very cool. It adds a lot more personality to each one that you're playing, because they'll chatter and talk back and forth when they're reloading clips or when they're out of ammo or when they fall, or asking for backup of some of the in-game voice commands. A lot of that stuff, they start talking back and forth to each other, and it's very neat. I really do like that. In terms of shooter, it's free to play, so your friends don't have to buy or invest in anything. There's always at least, I think, 5 mercs that are free on a free rotation that week that you can use, always. That changes week to week, so your favorite merc might be on or off rotation, depending. But you save up points and you play just like you would with League of Legends or Dota 2, and you eventually unlock that hero with in-game points, unless you want to pay money to unlock them right now. But that way, once you unlock that merc is always there for you to use as a default, and you can slowly expand your catalog as you play. It's very straightforward, it's very simple, there is nothing fishy, scammy, or weird about it. But I started getting these weird points, and I think it was Total Biscuit, who just a couple of days ago did coverage of Dirty Bomb. He actually pointed this out, and I had the exact same problem. He has a very high-end machine, dual SLI, yada, yada, yada. And he's got like GeForce 980s or something, I can't remember. He's got a very amazing machine, so does Angry Joe. They got great FPS, and I always got great FPS. It was locked at 60 most of the time. Every once in a while, I would see this weird spike of activity, and it was always at that very same time that I have some USB hard drives plugged into my machine, that suddenly when that spike hits, I would see the USB drives start getting accessed and start getting red. Now, Steam isn't loaded on those drives. The game isn't loaded on those drives. Windows is not loaded on those drives. Even the Windows virtual memory file or whatever is not on those drives. That is all raw video storage for a lot of my YouTube stuff, old copies of things, a lot of my back episodes of videos on there. So I was a little disconcerted when I would see a corresponding spike in game. Now, at first I thought it was something else I had running in the background, Windows indexing service or something like that, but all that stuff runs overnight at like 5 a.m. when I'm not awake. So what was it? Well, I started doing some digging, and that's when I noticed that there was a process running that would occasionally spike in the amount of I/O usage that it was actually using with Windows, how much information it was reading from the hard drive. It was never writing, only reading, but it would just all of a sudden jump through the roof. And it was a process called it was like XX3D or something like that. .dll. It was a little DLL, and it was named the XIGN Code 3 watchdog process. So I started doing some Googling and doing some investigation, and basically that led to the video that I put out, Digging Deep, the first episode of something that may or may not become an ongoing series. We'll have to see. It kind of depends, but basically I decided to dig deeper into the problem and see what the hell was going on. And what I uncovered was actually a anti-hacking measure that is put into Dirty Bomb that is called XIGN Code 3. And it is a program that is made by a legit official company. The first version of XIGN Code 3, or XIGN Code, version 1, I guess, technically, came out back in 2008. So it's not exactly a brand new product. This company has been doing it for, the better part of 7 years. Now, technically speaking, I think Valve's VAC, Valve Anti-Cheat, the same kind of thing, has been around longer, but basically it is an anti-cheat game security measure. They use it specifically to try and prevent aimbots, hacking, things of that nature. It's used in all variety of games. Dungeon Fighter Online uses it, DFO. I know Dirty Bomb uses it. It is, since Dirty Bomb is based on the Unreal 3 engine, which is, I think, one of the reasons why the game runs so well, because the Unreal 3 engine has been around long enough that it's basically mastered by this point in time. People know how to tune that game engine and make it run really smoothly. But that also means that since it's been around that long, there are a lot of hacks and a lot of cheats that exist for that platform. That being said, you'll see a lot of posts about people reporting players in Dirty Bomb using trigger bots or even aim bots in some cases, if you go to the subreddit for it. Now, a lot of that could be jealous players of somebody else that is actually better skilled. I cannot count the number of times I was playing PlanetSide 2 where I was 100% dead positive because I was raging, I was dying so much from one person killing me over and over in near impossible circumstances. I was raging so badly, and I was quite sure they were using aim bots because that's what helped my ego. That's what soothed the burn, so to speak, and made the process a lot easier. And I understand that. I do get that. However, that does not mean they were actually using an aimbot. Sometimes people are just that good in difference to my own skill level. I accept that. So it's a grain of salt when it comes to a lot of the activity that you see being reported. Oh, such and such is using a trigger bot. Well, now there is some of this going to be backed up with video evidence where you can watch a YouTube video and you'll see somebody starts aiming at a person before they round the corner and they didn't even know that person was there. They start aiming and firing before that person comes around a corner into visibility. There's no teammates nearby to report that. There's no sensors reporting that enemy's position. This player that's recording their footage just knows somehow ahead of time. And it happens a lot in some videos, way more than is actually natural and predictable. So there is evidence to state that there is cheating in Dirty Bomb. And maybe that is an indication that XIGN Code 3 isn't working as well as it should be. However, it could also be said that those are only one or two instances and the cheating problem would be way, way worse. And I do think there's legitimacy to that. It could be that there would be prevalent, nay, rampant cheating going on with those. Now, I did a lot of reading of Reddit threads, forum threads on different websites. There's a lot of websites that actually are forums devoted to making the cheats, and they start peeling apart XIGN Code 3 and trying to figure out how it works. Because cheat prevention programs, hacking prevention programs, inherently have to be rather opaque in how they function. They cannot be seamless and they cannot be transparent in functionality because that would make it easier to work around them. So they have to be secretive, and I get this. But when there is decent enough evidence between the website of the company that makes it and various other factors to indicate that they might actually be keylogging in order to check for programs that intersect keyboard hacks for trigger bots and things like that, that starts to make you nervous. Now, if you also compile that information and run it up alongside the fact that there are notes in the EULA about them gathering information and being able to send it off to whoever they want to, that starts to make you even more nervous. Now, does that mean that I think either Splash Damage, the makers of Dirty Bomb, or XIGN Code is actually scanning my hard drive for sensitive information and sending it off to some company so I can be hacked? No, I don't. But I do think that it is something that should be better advertised in software, because some people are nervous about that. Some people are concerned about that kind of thing. Paranoia is not necessarily the best word for it, because in today's society, sometimes a little bit of paranoia in terms of personal security and passwords and information can go a long way towards making life a lot easier in the long run, especially when identity theft can be so easy to have happen to you and so hard to get fixed. But no, I don't think Splash Damage is hacking me. I don't think that they are gathering information off my hard drive and selling it off to the highest bidder. If you look at the EULAs for Steam, if you look at the EULAs for Battle.net by Blizzard, they have the same kind of comments about gathering information, but it's always for analyzing crashes or analyzing performance issues and stuff like that. Now, with most of those, you can opt out of sending that information or send it anonymously. There isn't a lot of option in terms of doing that with XIGN Code 3. But then again, they're trying to stop hackers and cheaters, and if they catch one, they need to be able to report it and get that person banned immediately. So, don't want to have anonymous reporting, otherwise you're not going to know who you need to ban. There's merit to that. So it's a dual-edged sword. There is a forum thread that I'm going to link to Reddit that started discussing this, and there's actually going to be a link to a YouTube video by a guy named Thoff, T-H-O-F for Frank, TV. Thoff TV actually did a very level-headed and very quick summation of why this is probably not a big deal. But I still can't get over the fact that XIGN Code 3 has decided to basically randomly spike my performance down to about 10 FPS for a few seconds at a time, because it wants to wind up some external USB hard drives and scan them just in case, even though there's no active running processes coming from those drives. So that part irks me. Not on a personal security level, it irks me on a, why would they do this? It's a boneheaded performance thing kind of a level. So that's that. I do hope you guys find the first episode of Digging Deep informative. I don't know if you've watched this ahead of time or afterwards, so I'm not going to say anything about the episode itself. I do go into game mechanics. I do show off a little bit of gameplay footage here and there. I might put up some more episodes of it here on the actual channel. I do not think that it is a hacky or dangerous program. I do not think that there's a Trojan or a keylogger somewhere hidden deep within Dirty Bomb that's going to steal your secrets, because I don't think Steam would be stupid enough to let that stuff on their platform. I think Steam and Valve, I think they're very careful about the kind of programs that let on there in terms of hack potential programs, stuff like that. I don't think they're going to let something onto Steam just at random, much less the fact that this program has been on Steam for several months now. And they probably would have gotten reported and caught by now if they were doing something imbecilic and stupid. And like I said, XIGN has been around since 2008. There is no indication that they are up to anything even remotely nefarious. That being said, I do think it should be better advertised when programs start scanning your personal task, the active running tasks on your actual computer. I do think that users should be made aware, look, we're scanning your computer, active running tasks, active memory, and maybe even we're scanning your system cache or whatever. You know, I think users should at least be given a warning message, first off, that's easy to see when the game starts off, maybe once. Or something in the settings where they can go, look, see it very prevalently, and say, look, this is happening, you need to be made aware. Because I know people that will not play this game specifically because of that. And that's that person's prerogative, but I do think they have a right to know. I'm going to try and see if I can turn off. I don't use Windows file indexing. I don't use Windows file search. I don't use the Windows search function because I know where I put everything. So I don't need to find anything. I might turn off Windows indexing and see if that cuts back on those random hard drive accesses to my external drives when I'm running Dirty Bomb, because I do like the game and I actually would like to put some more time into it. It's fun. And it's free, basically. I haven't had to put any money into it. They have at no point put up a paywall that says if you want to compete with everybody else, you need to give us money. I have never felt that. Now, I have felt at various points, if you want to advance quickly or if you want to unlock more stuff quickly, then yes, I have felt that pressure on, because there are points where you have a quick ramp up and then it kind of slows down. But I go into that into the episode of Digging Deep. So I would really love to hear from you guys on this. Let me know what you think. Can't wait. Maybe some upvotes, maybe some, or thumbs up, maybe some, I'm thinking Reddit still, maybe some thumbs up, maybe some comments. Share the video around if you think it was useful or informative, or just tell me in the comments, hey, I'd like to see more of this. I'll see you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.